Hi friends, welcome back to the Dating Battle. I'm your host Jody Besasar, and this is my co-host Kai.
Hey guys.
So we have an interesting topic tonight. I'm excited about this topic. I think it's something, especially being a good girl who always, there's always the good girl dating the bad boy kind of scenario, that always seems to play out that way. So I guess this was when I was like maybe 24. I was in a club in East Hampton and I looked up and I saw the most beautiful chocolate black man I'd ever seen in my life. Like, I gotta say, out of all the men that I've ever seen in my life in magazines, models, he had to be like top 2, if not the best looking guy I'd ever seen in my life.
Damn, and in East Hamptons you probably were like, who is that?
Who is that? Yeah. And he was Jamaican like me,
How'd you find out?
Well, I went up to him. I don't know if I think I went up to him. Yeah, I don't usually go up to guys like that. And I chatted him up. I definitely made the move. I saw what I wanted and I went and got it. And so I found out he was from Jamaica because the Hamptons is kind of like a touristy place. Like, people come from all over the world to work for the summer, make really good money. And I guess our topic is riding dirty. This is the first time I'd ever rode dirty. Like, I'd always been a pretty good girl.
Riding dirty.
Riding dirty. And so I met him, and immediately he invited me on a trip to Pennsylvania. I was young, had nothing else going on in my life. So I was like, yeah, listen, I'll go. I'll take the ride to Pennsylvania, free trip.
Pennsylvania, like, he didn't say like where in
He
Pennsylvania?
didn't say like where. I think it was like in Philly, like somewhere outside of Philly.
Okay.
But
because a trip to Philly, that's nothing sus. Like, Philadelphia is so much fun. There's food, there's a lot of great nightlife.
Yeah. So I thought nothing of it. I didn't know what he did for a living. I never asked him like what his occupation was. Not that I cared. And he picked me up with a friend in a car. I don't remember what kind of car if it was a nice car or not. I guess it was a nice car, but I don't think it was like a BMW or anything like that.
Wait, but how old were you?
I was 24.
Okay, 24, right, yeah.
He was around the same age too. Tall, 6'2", muscular. He picked me up with his friend. We're driving to Pennsylvania, right? Somewhere along the way we stop and they pick up the headrest to get cash out of the freaking headrest. I'd never seen that in my entire life before. I didn't know you trap cash in your headrest. Yeah, and it wasn't just like a little bit of cash. Like, it was like a pile, like stacks and stacks of cash. Like, I'd never seen that much cash in real life in all my life at this point.
In rubber bands?
In rubber bands. Yeah, in rubber bands. Good question. Yes, they were all in rubber bands. And so we get to Pennsylvania. We made a couple of stops and he introduced me to his friends. I think I even met some of his his cousins or something like that. And we pulled up to this house in Pennsylvania. I don't know if they were scammers, but it was like the middle of the day. All these guys are hanging out in this house, like all dudes, right? All young dudes. And I don't know what they were doing in there. I didn't see any guns or anything like that. Like, I didn't...
You're like, I'm worried. Are there guns?
Yeah. Definitely that was on my mind. But after that, we came back. I lost touch with him. I don't know. I was kind of flaky in my early 20s. I would lose my phone all the time.
We all did.
Change my number. Mainly because of stalkers. I always had like a lot of stalkers. So I'd always be forever changing my number. But I honestly wish I knew what happened to him or where he is. He's probably back in Jamaica with a couple kids, married by now. But that's my riding dirty story. Do you have any riding dirty stories?
Jody, you're wild. Like,
am I wild?
24, hot guy. Did he have a Jamaican accent?
He did.
Fresh off the boat, and you're just like, you're mine. And then he's like, come with me to PA. And you're like, all right. And it's you and how many other dudes?
Me and him and his friend drove up to Pennsylvania.
Okay. I feel like I would feel more, I'm putting myself in your shoes. Like, I would feel comfortable with it being him and a friend, because then it's like, well, he's a stranger, but at least if his friend is here, it's not like crazy scary because it's very ballsy of you to just take this trip.
Yeah, I've only taken, like, I would say 2 times in my life. I've gone on, like, spontaneous trips with guys that I didn't know very well, and it worked out. I wouldn't advise it. It worked out in my experience. I had both a great time with both of the guys that I went with, and it was in my early 20s, my experimenting phase, you know, so I have no regrets.
Okay, all right, got it. But riding dirty. So I dated this one dude, and I was not 21. I was between 18 and 21, and I started dating men when I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I only dated women.
Wow.
And I was coming into myself still and finding my sea legs. And my 2 girlfriends from Queens, Jewish girl, Irish girl, took me to this bar in Williamsburg called Sugarland? I think it was called Sugarland. And I think every Wednesdays they had like free drinks if you take your pants off. And it was my first time there, and it was like a straight bar, and just random people in there, no pants, you get a free beer. Great music, people were dancing, chill vibes. First time I ever did anything like that. And this dude came up to me, and he was just so, I don't know, he was so confident, and I was like, wow. And I don't know if you remember in the last episode I mentioned my first one night stand in Safety.
Yeah.
And he's the guy whose mail I looked through. And like, this dude was the plug. Like,
what do you mean by that, the plug?
Like, okay, so my friends and I, again, we're under 21. We took a trip to the Poconos. I don't know why.
With him?
Yeah, with my friends, and he came. Funny, we're talking about riding dirty, and we both end up in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, yeah.
And we took a trip to the Poconos. It was really nice.
That's nice. The Poconos is supposed to be a nice place, right?
Yeah, like, we have a timeshare, so we went.
Nice.
And like, I brought my new one night stand. I guess it was no longer a night. And
your ongoing one night
my
stand.
ongoing one night stand. And I mean, he just happened to be a bartender, and we were under 21. Like,
oh, that's the plug.
I mean, everything. You know, we had such a great time.
Was he mixing drinks and stuff like that?
Yeah, like, we were trying different cocktails and like.
Oh, wow.
I mean, like, it was. I think that was like my first time trying something else, and it was just like the stars looked so beautiful, and I was like, wow. And I felt really safe because like he was so experienced. But you know, years later, you think about it, and it's like, I was definitely riding dirty. It's like, I don't know this dude. Like, I'm just trusting it, and also, he lied about his age, I found out later on.
Was he older?
The night I met him, he said he was like 31 or something like that, and I was like 20. Still, I was definitely underage. And he, like, I think once we realized it was going to be like a long one night stand, then he was like, yeah, I'm actually older. And I was like, okay, I don't know why you lied from the beginning, but yeah. I don't know, I haven't seen him in a really long time. I thought we were cool, but I think he blocked me.
What do you be doing to be getting blocked?
I guess I didn't want to get dirty enough.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, you can't take it seriously.
Well,
sometimes people just need their space.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely blocked my fair share of people, but I don't think I've ever been blocked to my knowledge. I'm the unicorn. But my block list is long. But I wanted to cover riding dirty because I think it's fun, you know, especially if you're a good girl or you're looking for spontaneity. I'm not saying go date a drug dealer or somebody feeling Pablo Escobar, you know. I'm not saying that. But it's definitely fun to get your feet wet, to live on the edge a little bit. And I also want to cover like the difference between riding dirty and dating a drug dealer. That's two different things, and we'll cover that in a later episode. Yeah, so do you have anything else to add, Cal?
I mean, I can't wait to see like dating drug dealers because I mean, like, riding dirty, we still don't know what your dude was even doing.
I don't
like,
even know he was.
He could have been a drug dealer. He could have been a scammer.
Like, yeah.
You hear Jamaican scam, first thing you think, first thing that comes to mind is Western Union. When I worked at, like, we had so many scammers call.
Really?
Yeah, they would call all the time, and they would always order these jelly thong sandals.
Yeah, Jamaicans love the jelly sandals.
I'm like, okay, so what happens once we get the sandals?
How many would they order?
Like 7. And I need 7 clear jelly thong sandals and 8 black ones and 6 pink ones. It's like, why?
They must have a lot of kids. So with that, I would say, you know, if you want to ride dirty, you want to live on the edge, you want to try a bad boy, it's fun once in a while as long as they respect you, they don't put their hands on you. With that, I'm going to leave you guys, and I'd like to say subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you guys have any topics you want to hear, any comments, DM us below, let us know. Thanks for tuning in.